good one, and you off to starting your week on a good note. Thank you so much for staying tuned and listening to us from the morning crossfire to what's happening in Abuja, the sunny side. And right now I'm here with some hard facts for you from now up until 7 o'clock. And we've got a handful of conversations to go through today. And you can join in by watching live on YouTube and Facebook at Nigeria Info Abuja. 7 o'clock, I'll hand over to the football team after the news. And at 10 o'clock, time for tonight with Black Coffee all the way to past midnight. So you are going to have a time joining conversations and part of today. We'll get off with the roundtable from now till 4:30 and go into a sponsored segment, Auto Fixer. And at 5 o'clock, another conversation. At 6, it'll be time to get your eyewitness report. My name is Itodo. And as always, thank you for joining. Yes, I did. The Oracle will be here shortly. Tokbe, thank you for asking. How are you? We'll get into the roundtable right now, see what headlines are making the rounds. Don't forget you can join the conversation and contribute via the Facebook and YouTube platforms. We're streaming live right at Nigeria Info Abuja. Now, all day there's been conversation about fuel scarcity and how some drivers and car owners have had to queue up for hours in the city and bid to purchase fuel for their cars. And on my drive here to work, I noted a handful of filling stations are shut down or closed. And I'm wondering, what's your experience like trying to get fuel today? Are you having to queue for hours as well? Or is this just panic buying, which some people have said it is, and it's nothing to be worried about? But everyone has got their experience going for them. So where it is you are in the city, let's know if it's easy for you to get fuel or you're having to struggle, queue up, or maybe drive to filling stations and meet locked gates, not able to purchase fuel for your car. All right, let's get first story for today. It has to do with the war in the midst and how that will affect Nigeria's subsidy. Now, if you recall, Pengasin stated a couple of days ago that the federal government is still paying subsidy for petrol, and that's according to the national president of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengasin, Festus Osifo. Now, the inauguration of the president, remember that statement, subsidy is gone, and that went on to trigger a hike in the cost of the commodity across the nation. But months after the move, Osifo, who is the president of the Trade Union Congress, TUC, said due to the cost of crude oil in the international market and the dollar to naira rate, the government still pays subsidy for the product. Now, for the government to stop subsidizing petroleum, he said things should happen. In his words, I quote, "The only reason the price would not move is when you are able to manage the exchange rate effectively and you are able to pump in supply and bring down the exchange rate." Quote. He also went on to state, I quote, "So if the exchange rate comes down today, we will not be paying subsidy. But if the exchange rate value and price of crude oil in the international market, we have introduced." You'll recall that on the outset of conversation with the NLC and the federal government, the conversation stemmed around the fact that it was important to maybe bring back subsidy until the refineries were fixed. And if the price of fuel was reviewed any further, the NLC stated it was going to go on a strike without warning. And right now in the FCT, some people are buying for as high as 617 naira or even higher, depending on the location where you are purchasing. Now, the war in the Middle East is also going to be affecting that if the ongoing conflict between Israel and Palestine escalates further, setting off a chain reaction. Nigeria, yet to recover from the economic crisis that followed the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, may have to deal with another energy crisis that may force them to spend 644.8 billion naira subsidizing premium motor spirit PMS loan monthly. Now, just as diesel prices already rising above 1,100 per litre, with the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) stating that the price of kerosene surged by 57.18%, reaching 1,272.40 per litre in August. Manufacturers and households in the face of poor electricity supply are set to face fresh hurdles under the development. Just means that things are starting to feel normal, in quote. Something else hits you and you wonder what exactly is going on and how do we get out of this if we ever do eventually. Now, the following attempts by the U.S. to broker a deal that would normalize Saudi Arabia relations with Israel and ease oil prices. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had declared war on Hamas on Saturday after group's forces poured across the border from Gaza, clashing the Israeli forces and into large sections of the territory in the southern part of the country. A toll in Israel had risen to 600 as of Sunday evening, while Gaza Health Ministry said 370 Palestinians, I beg your pardon, have been killed in second day of the the effect of this with PMS. Now, dollar already exchanging for over 1,000 at the parallel market, while Nigeria's refineries remain dormant. There are indications that the foreign exchange crisis may worsen as Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited may spend the federation's earning on importing fuel, while marketers scramble for available dollar for diesel and aviation fuel. Now, with PMS being at $1,023 per metric ton at the national market, as exchange rate is about $1,020 to a dollar, crude oil price at about $100 per would push the difference between the current pump price and the actual price to about $400, and this difference amounts to about 644.8 billion naira monthly, given the current consumption of about 52 million liters daily. A lot of questions emanating from this. If indeed subsidy is gone, you would ask, why federal government still paying subsidy? That's because if they did not or do not, the price of fuel, like you know it right now, would have to go up. I know how that would affect everything else in Nigeria. So that's the worry. And with that thing, NLC says they're going to go on strike if the price ever goes up beyond what it is right now. But what we are currently faced with at this time. So that's our first story for today. And we seem to already be facing the repercussions of this, seeing that some filling stations in the FCT selling, or there's a queue, the panic to get fuel for yourself. And a lot of people are having issues face that at this time. Let's get some reactions to this particular story. 700-951 0000 08095974869. Those are the numbers to call. On WhatsApp, it is 08099930113. Kindly note that if you call in for away from your device, state your name, your location, and kindly share your thoughts. All right, no foul language, and be certain you have all the facts before you go on to share your thoughts. Let's get to you right now. Afternoon. Welcome. What's your name?
My name is Gail Covenant.
Go ahead, Covenant.
Honestly, what's going between Israel and Hamas is really disturbing. It's really disturbing because Nigerians are really suffering, and so on now. Couple of these are coming up now. It's going to be a kind of massive issue for us. I went to buy gas this morning, and gas was sold at 1,000 kg. I can't imagine that 1,000 per kg. When the subsidy was removed, people kind of moved from normal generator fuel to gas generator usage. Yeah. And then the gas was between 450, 500. It was higher, it was lower than fuel. Now that is higher than fuel. So we're buying fuel at 610 or 620 plus, and then gas at 1,000, and then 1,000 plus in a country that produces oil. To me, it doesn't make sense. Honestly, it doesn't make sense.
And the effect that would have on businesses as well, thinking about it right now. Businesses would depend on diesel and gas as well. Everything just fights against it.
Everything is just on the income. Is it we are not enjoying that Nigeria is an oil producing country. We are not enjoying it. And I heard the FCD minister saying that Nigeria should patient till when? Till when? Why spent 8 years? Nothing happened. We suffered. Now this one, patient till when? Is it because of paying our pains? Honestly, it doesn't really make sense. 1,000 per kg. Okay, this is October. By December, it will get 1.5, 1,500 per kg. This is still October. Actually, those should be placed. Seriously, honestly, it's not for it to be in Nigeria, no. It's funny at all. No confidence.
Covenant, thank you. Good afternoon. Hello? I can barely hear you. Do you want to hang up or back? Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. The number one celebrity on personality of the world.
Welcome.
Your baby is not her daddy. Say,
oh, hey. How is she today?
Very well, very well.
Nice.
She was like, when I was here, let's say, which one did this man they do so? Well, and Mr. Itodo.
Yes.
The entire world, as they say, is a global village. So it means whatever affects one of the world may have an effect on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
Recall when in 2011 thereabout, when Gaddafi was overthrown, a lot of African leaders did not pay attention to the consequences of that, Nigeria inclusive. And you can see how we are suffering
proliferation.
Yes,
yeah.
Across the entire region in Africa. That singular act of looting the armory of Libya, ending all the armed struggle people across the Sahelian region. Look at what happened in Ukraine also. You may think, okay, Russia and Ukraine, they are far away. Russia and Ukraine, they are the largest grain exporters in the world. They are the largest, they are part of the largest gas, isn't it? The LPG exporter also, and refined crude. So these things have a way of affecting us. I sincerely refuse to comment on this Hamas-Israel stuff because some of us are senselessly decide to attach life to religion. No life. No religion is older than being human. That is one of our words on Mabon Nigerian Info. DK Chukwemereje, he said no tribe or religion is older than being human. Human lives are being lost. And that war will have its own supply chains across the world. Now, look at it now. They are saying they will go up because of this war now. Have it? 600 and something, almost 1 trillion. And that 1 trillion should have gone into maybe the issue of NLC and other maybe university lecturer, medical health workers, and other things. Now they are going to pump it into subsidy. My
All
brother.
right.
Make me do where my BP go rise. Thank you very much for the wonderful opportunity. I'll be following.
All right. Thank you for joining the conversation. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Pastor Gentleman Itodo. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Welcome.
Where is the digital? We are alone today.
She'll be here shortly. She's good.
Oh, yes, no. Abuja from Gwagwalada. Economically, Nigeria will have our sovereignty. So Nigeria is no longer immune to economic shock of the West. Whenever there is fluctuation of oil prices, the burden is transferred to Nigeria. Poor Nigeria. It is unfortunate. That is the merit of a mono economy. Our leaders have reached to diversify, and we are richly endowed. We should be pursuing a diversified economy, whereby immediate shock of the internal economy will not affect Nigeria. But contrary is the case. It's fortunate. We are praying they should not at war. They should escalate Israeli-Palestinian war of conflict, and we should know please.
All right.
To have a negative effect.
All right. Thank you, Babaka, for sharing your thoughts. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, DK.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir. It's Donatus calling from Niger State.
Go ahead, Donatus.
Thank you, sir. It's time we tell ourselves this removal of subsidy. The removal of subsidy is improve the economy or a way that the economy. You understand? If they should pay almost 1 trillion naira, billionaires will not take more than 1 trillion naira. We just spend 19.5 billion naira to build a refinery. One Nigeria spent $20 billion to maintain a refinery. We're telling us the lie. I think we should just do something as a nation. We are just building it, This has been happening and it has been happening again. They should just do something.
All right.
Just killing the economy. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Brother Itodo.
Good afternoon.
Sapayo is calling from my camera.
Go ahead, Clive.
You see, NLC and TUC, all along, for me, I think people have been blaming Ajay, but I sympathize with that man. You understand? Because I always say that Ajay does not make up the NLC. And if you look at his TV counterpart, who right now is the leader of Pengasen. But I told you know Frank Kokori, in his era, Pengasen is enough to hold down the government, make the government on this fuel issue, only Pangan alone during Frank Kokori era. But before now, along the if you look at the comments of TUC President Festus Osifo, I don't know him, but all along his statements has always been contrary. It's only Ajay Road that is trying his possible best to make sure things work out. You understand me? And just like one of the caller before the first caller said, that this morning somebody said Nigeria should be patient. Nigeria wants something to happen quick. Why was he not patient during the presidential nomination?
Who are you referring to right now? Who are you referring to right now, Pies?
Hello?
Who are you referring to right now to being patient?
I mean, our wife minister this morning said Nigeria should be patient. Nigerians are in a hurry. They want something to happen quick, that it is not like that. For how, just like somebody have had, for how long will Nigeria be patient for? If it was, why was he not patient during the president nomination? Why was he anxious? Because he did not get what he wanted. Is he not now in the center trying to bridge this for the future? But many people will be shocked in 2027 because many people, Nigerians, are equal to the.
All right.
Or putting and looking down what happens now.
All right, Pies. Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts right there. And one on WhatsApp says, is it impossible to have a refinery? I noticed unnecessary queues in our filling stations this morning and rumors of fuel increase at this point of hardship. NLC needs salary increase and President says he wants to pay 25,000 naira. Will he get this money from? If not from us, so we are paying for salary increment and government expenditure, not getting anything in return from the government. Please tell NSC to not bother with any strike. We don't know difference between them. Okay, may God help us all. Anointed one from heaven is what he ends with. And Udade Abiodun says Nigeria is a very funny society where people are always eager to take advantage of every situation. All right. Now, on the flip side, the coalition of ex-agitator Niger Delta says it is preparing a showdown with the NNPC, that is the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, for allegedly excluding Niger Deltans from the recent award of pipeline maintenance contracts. The ex-militant leaders said it was insensitive and provocative for the PCL to award pipeline maintenance contracts to only nothing companies. Now, the coalition stated this in a statement on Sunday signed by its coordinator, Geram Bobo, the spokesperson, Chief David Toyen Banigo, National Secretary Johnson Akpobari, and National Director Mobilization Goodluck Warikere. In their words, or in his word, we will never allow such cheating, injustice, and insensitivity, occur in this new administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose mantra means justice, equity, and fairness. The NNPCL should know that its actions and conduct will determine the level of peace in the oil-bearing communities of the Niger Delta. We will not allow this provocative action of awarding pipeline maintenance contracts only to companies owned by the cabals. The NNPCL also going to respond to this, denying awarding pipeline contracts to a cabal, and they went on to provide contractors' names. The company emphasized that all contract awards were strictly based on a comprehensive assessment of competence carried out in collaboration with the NEITI, that is the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, and the Ministry of Justice. In a statement released on October 8 and signed by the company's management, NNPCL provided detailed information regarding the pipeline rehabilitation contracts distributed nationwide. It affirmed its commitment to maintaining transparency and openness in all its operations. And it gave a breakdown of all the awardees of the contract. A quick backstory to this. In October report, it was disclosed that PCL had awarded pipeline maintenance contract to an alleged cabal. And according to the report, this action highlighted the continued influence of the cabal in the nation's petroleum sector. And that's what has led the ex-agitators into stating that the exclusion could lead to violence in the region. Well, how would this affect Nigeria if it ever boils down, even though the NNPC has come out to deny it's happening? Now, with the crisis going on in the Middle East, now this in Nigeria, the Niger Delta region, it's a cause for worry to how things will play out if it ever comes down to that. God forbid that ever happens. But then there's the concern that what if it happens, and how can they be pacified the best way possible to ensure that they are carried along and not just left to why the region is not developing in the way that it should. And this one, yeah. Right. Thank you for pointing that. Godwin in Area 11 says, I need clarification on the following. During GEJ's arbitration, a barrel of crude oil was sold for $8 to $120. They paid for subsidy without borrowing to pay for subsidy. Millions of dollars were saved in the excess crude oil account for the show, but Adam Ashomale, a merchant court, took the federal government to court that the money must be shared. Why is it difficult for the government to manage the economy? Those are the questions that Godwin in Area 11 is asking. All right, James in Area 10, thank you for your message. Steelo says, one of the biggest lies Nigerians have always accepted is that the government uses 97% of the country's revenue to service our debt. Only because there is no way to verify. I would have you proof, but for safety reasons, I will halt here. Let's get back to the phone lines. Good afternoon. Welcome.
My name is Omar Salisu.
Go ahead.
I'm crying every day when the government enter because now the petrol is high, the diesel is high, and now what common using gas, when it's cheaper and it's high. Now, when the is high, kerosene is high, people are suffering because now is the easy way for people can cook it. When it's high now, how they can afford this moment? Every action is getting harder every day. Is it like this Nigerian country, the way it's going, is going to problem. Let the government sit very well on this issue. They cannot allow gas to go up like this. 1,000 this thing. How many you kill before you kill again? How much is the salary increase?
All right.
Let the president take it easy. Let the people take it easy. Take it the thing is just out of hand.
All right. Thank you, Salisu. The Oracle is here. Good afternoon to the Oracle.
Hi. How you doing?
Good. I'm very well.
I was listening to all the conversation. Like, man, it actually feels to listening from the other side.
Mm-hmm.
You think you feel I feel like the pulse a little more raw when you're listening. Like what is going on?
Is this really happening?
Even Tinubu Peking was stuttering over pronouncing.
Is the tension happening in the country right now? It would just.
I was laughing by myself. Everybody was just like, this country, and I love that. Like, boy.
Did you notice the filling station closed on your drive here?
Yeah, you know what? People started talking about it on Friday. I was even teasing them. I'm like, guys, maybe it's just your imagination running away with you. And then I see update that depots were empty because the landing cost had gone up 700 and something, yes. And they would need that diff to be paid and stuff before they can. So supply will look. As after church, I just told myself, see, just drown central area and top up because I don't want to.
Were you successful?
That yes, I did. But a good number of the filling stations didn't have. They had a bit of a queue on it. I joined. I got some reasonable amount. I could not fill my tank.
Wow.
but I did great.
Okay. Well, hopefully that lasts you long enough before you have to.
Yes,
top
because
up again.
when NPC start to say don't panic when reviewing upwards, I feel my tongue. Not in a panicky state, but half the time they've betrayed my trust in so many ways when they've said, don't worry about it, we have it in stock, and yet I don't see it anywhere. So that trust has been depleted so far that I don't trust their words when they say that.
Yeah, and also the back and forth between NNPCL and the ex-agitators of the Niger Delta right now. There's that concern that things could, from where it is right now, to worse off. And the fact that...
Let's hope not.
Hopefully not. You know, we don't have the energy to handle that, seeing that Nigeria is going through a lot economic-wise right now. But let's get phone lines, get more thoughts, and we'll move on to our story. Good afternoon. Welcome.
You what?
Honorable Gamal.
All right, Honorable, can you turn off radio, please?
You see, please,
Yeah.
on my way, I'm off and come gallon so that you do this more. You should have resolved it.
Oh dear.
You see, Itodo, the problem we have, the government are not telling us the truth. They say gas, they are not importing it. Why now gas one part? This say we should be the mean. The blood way there for person body they shot it because of the government. So what are we saying? I don't know. I'm tired of this country.
So do you want to go to? Wait.
What is happening? I don't know what there's something I heard from a sister radio in the morning. By 9 o'clock, by Commissioner of Police, Abuja. Where you say those people, where they raise them, say they not see the manhood. All of the people, the cases, they have gone to hospital and they were affected. And everything is inside. But even on Saturday, that one happened at Abuja or one somewhere. A lady said that she lost her Christopher. Children maybe. So they have gone to hospital this morning. That case, listen, is there. So all those ones alarm, they will charge them for false information and they are going to court. So people panicking. The commissioner of police was this morning. Nobody should allow fear to overwhelm him or her.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much.
You know, I'm glad that the police is speaking up and out about this because it's getting insane. My mom called me and said, oh, they said they took someone's boobs in the bank. Be careful. I say, be careful of what? Going to the banks or what exactly? And then, you know, the story is over the place and it feels like Abuja is the epicenter of missing organs.
All of a sudden. Abuja, that you would have thought would be the safest place in Nigeria, the safest places in Nigeria. That's the concern right now. And it's the fact that this news keeps spreading.
Yeah.
And when they investigate, find out it's maybe a lie or maybe it's exaggerated.
I want to believe.
I randomly remembered this morning, somebody touched me a couple of days ago for that reason. And I'm like, why did I not panic? What am I doing right now that someone touched me?
Oh, well, because you now start moving around and your imagination is to all kinds
You're conscious.
of stuff. Yeah. And then one brushes your shoulder and you start to feel like, you understand. I noticed one of our groups with other colleagues, and then one of them was saying, oh, guys, you know, this is what they are saying is happening in town. People should be, the other one said, are you sure it's not the weather or perhaps the economic situation that is making things shrivel up and people are feeling disappearing? Because lack of money can make you lose sensation in important places. And it's not like
when you shouldn't be having any sensation at all. So that could be it for some people.
I'm telling you, but what? It's gone. It's crazy.
What's awesome is the fact that there's a bit of jungle justice that follows when that is discovered. Not waiting for the authorities to come handle the situation. People just feel like it's up to the take action and try to be the judge, jury, and execution at the same time. And that's really sad. I feel like at this point, should have moved on from that, taken a life. It's not up to us to do that.
Somebody attacked me the video on, I think it was Instagram, and then they were beating one man, you know, hitting him, slapping off that, pull down his trousers and say, return. And the man, like, please, he was even trying to calm and not agitate the situation, like, nothing. And then the guy would say, see, the man, I'm like, but there's no proof that he did anything. How did he end? It just could be anybody. You know, I've heard they've beat up a woman for that she tapped a man and he disappeared. So let's
And for those who have been
Not-
hugging, maybe now is a good. I mean, it's important to ask permission first, but now you need to actually ask permission if you should hug anyone, because you never know
You'll be
if.
hugging around strangers in
Maybe
crowded place.
a friend of yours could have an ill feeling against you, and you hugging them would be a chance for them to, oh, this person has stolen my XYZ.
Wow.
Yeah. So just be certain that you have permission and don't touch anyone. Try not to. I
Wow.
mean, even those who enter the along and they're all squeezed up.
I wanted to bring that. I jump in the bus or along. Then someone is literally lapping somebody else because there's not enough space, and and their shoulder just occupied the whole place. You're brushing shoulder with someone. They will now say that it was in their lung that someone brushed your shoulder.
Who would you accuse? Because there's so much going on.
Let's be real. Some people are saying it's borderline mental disorder that is responsible for it. Others are saying a lot of factors kicking. I'm not discounting it. I'm not saying that it's this weird story cannot be true. But I'm saying I feel like it's been exaggerated and amplified, and it's all over the place. People are panicking such that, you start to assume things. You don't know what fear is. They have this whole false expectation of being real. If you believe something so much, they steal people think, and then somebody mistake brushes you.
You just assume, mine is as well.
I'm telling you, it will disappear. And it's your fault because you're too afraid that someone is going to steal it.
Okay. Well,
So calm down, guys. Let's relax on this whole thing. Abuja is supposed to be a cool place with cool stuff happening, but a lot of horrible things happening. I know. However, let's this whole thing be contained. It's getting ridiculous. Like every single day. Where did these people come from? The pit of hell? All of a sudden, they're all over the place.
That's exaggerated, actually, on social media. And people are scared. You can't blame them scared, because once you lose it, what's going to happen afterwards? How does it...
Imagine someone sending you a message, what is happening in Abuja? They started stealing. Nah. No, let's relax, please.
All right, let's get to some messages on Facebook right now. Also, Francis Namani watching from Mangun says, okay, what's happening message. Francis, we'll come back to it. Okay, he says, it is purely the responsibility of government to make lives meaningful to the citizenry and not to allow them to through severe hardships and difficulties. May God help us. Okay. And on WhatsApp right now, the Patriot says, you can see what we are saying all along. Subsidy is gone, but you're still paying subsidy. A fraudulent and foundation favors nobody. They play. Okay. And Comrade Chris in Madalas is removal of subsidy and its aftermath. He who shuns the truth deludes himself. What stops the government from making our refineries functional? The victory of evil over good is only temporary. Every system has its seed of self-destruction. Okay. And Tinubu Pekin says, Kimberly, is it VIO people again? Why would we be VIO?
No, because I came in.
Oh,
no.
right. No, it's
I
not.
just had some other stuff.
No, it's not. Okay. And this one right here from Patrick says, the earlier Nigerians, especially our colors, who perhaps live in their own world where what happens around the world does not affect them, it's advisable that we have to know that the entire world economy, that of the five big and giant nations of America, China, Russia, and Britain, are already heading to a quasi-economic meltdown. So ours is consequently the global influencers that is sweeping through us unavoidably, like any other global disease. Right. And James in the 10 respond to the loss of genitals says the loss of mandates is a lie. Not that. I'm happy that the CPFET said he will arrest any man or woman that claims about their missing privates. All right. And Bill Kubwa says, okay, Kim. So as you try to fill your tank, be expecting AFCC. How's it do? Is saying, all right. The next story has to do with the murder that happened a couple of months ago in Lagos, and a lot of people reacted to this. The fact that you're going somewhere with family on during a holiday, and before you know it, what seemed to be a good afternoon became something disastrous, where a policeman accused of killing a woman in the presence of her family. And that case has gone back and forth for a few months now, and reports have it that the man, who is a policeman, has been sentenced to death by hanging. Now,
I mean, it was one report that we flagged, the Bolanli killing, the killer cop, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, they need to start very harsh penalty because obviously they were trying to, get some money out of him. He got trigger happy, fired at this woman who was pregnant or whatnot, and he was trying to act all ignorant and all whatnot. I mean, this should serve as a deterrent.
Now,
even though he would not go to the gallows, but he would spend a long time in prison at the end of the day.
Well, Justice Ronke Harrison of the Lagos State High Court has sentenced the trigger-happy assistant superintendent of police, SP Drambi Vandi, to death by hanging for killing a pregnant-based lawyer, Bolanle. The Lagos State government had arraigned Vandi before the court for allegedly shooting 41-year-old pregnant lawyer to death at the Abuja Underbridge checkpoint on December 25th, 2022. The incident sparked outrage, especially on social media, and a police officer was suspended. Convict was initially charged with murder, but they found him guilty of manslaughter as a result of a lack of intention on his part. Now, during the trial, the prosecution called 11 witnesses, including 8 police officers, and handed 27 exhibits and evidence, while the convict solely testified in his defense. The defendant, however, pleaded not guilty to the one-count charge of murder contrary to Section 223 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State 2015. Now, delivering judgment at Tafa Balewa School, Lagos on Monday, the judge found the killer couple guilty of murder. She held that the prosecution established sufficient oral and documentary evidence linking the defendant to the crime. While that may never bring back life that was lost, it would serve as a lesson to others well to treat fellow human beings with a bit of respect. I mean, on Christmas Day, that's no way to spend a holiday. Not talk of Christmas.
It must just been horrible and traumatizing for,
It was exhausting that day. When you're having a good day and boom, that story hits you. You might not know him personally, but then you're just...
True. I mean, it trended for days. People was like, why? That's that police station. Always notorious for criminal stuff. So, I mean, lessons need to be learned. And I hope that this is one of them.
Hopefully we do better moving forward. But let's get some reactions to this before on a break at 4 o'clock for Abuja today. You can send a message on WhatsApp as well, 0809 930137. Good afternoon. Are you there? Welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Good afternoon.
Please, I want to comment on the issue that is going on that Nigeria having a well and rest. They said Nigeria is a global village. I think happens in another country will move out the Nigeria. Now, I want to ask, why is it that all the while Boko Haram, S-Men, Nigeria, Statera, Nigeria, why is not affecting other countries?
Who said that?
Why is it that it's only when it happens to European countries? Last time was Ukraine and Russia. Now is Palestine and Israel. And we are feeling the heat.
Well, Boko Haram did affect neighboring countries for us. But if you mean the effect here affecting Europe, then that question, I don't know how to respond to it. But our neighbors, Cameroon, Niger Republic, felt the impact of Boko Haram, economic, security-wise and all. And that's why even a multi-joint force was established to see how we protect all of the corridors. At the time with things like this, it does affect more than one country. It affects beyond the country of origin where this is coming from. A lot of people feel it. But then if you're talking about big economies, then I guess you know your answer already.
Are you there? Okay, something happened with his connection. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon, the King of Itodo.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, the King of
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
This is Comrade Arunam Kuje.
Go ahead.
Quickly, let me react to the first story about the fuel subsidy. It's not funny. Even with the high cost of fuel, I find it difficult to get the fuel. So I don't understand. It seems that governments are not well prepared. Sincerely speaking, they celebrated 100 days of in office. We've not seen anything on ground. They keep on telling us to be patient. Anyway, we will continue to be patient, but they know that it will get to a time that we will not be able to withstand the hardship anymore. Not promoting violence, but I have every right to call the government to be sincere. We voted them to be sincere with the masses. So, second, Kim, can you recall one proprietor who killed a lady, one of his in Kano 2 years ago?
Yeah. Who killed that little girl? Hanifa, or what's her name? Yeah.
Yes. He was found guilty and sentenced death by hanging. As I'm talking to you today, that man is still alive.
Well,
the former governor of the state did not sign his death warrant.
Well, the thing is,
until he left office.
The thing is, Comrade Haruna, most people do not quickly sign this death penalty. Not in Nigeria, except for some countries like Saudi, Indonesia, and a few countries. They are very strict about certain things, and they do not. Even at that, it's not almost immediately. Sometimes you see it to take a few more years before it is finally enforced. Because once you take the life, it's gone, finish. So most people, they would stay years in prison, or if you have someone whose mind is made up that indeed it to be the death penalty, they eventually see it. Half the time, it takes, even for the United States of America, the places where death penalty is still allowed, you find they would have been in prison for 20 years and still no one said it. So oftentimes that's how it is. But with that, the person not coming out.
We know, but justice should start. At least others that who were established with responsibility of taking life do not have every right to take somebody's life. Policeman, you are there to protect life. That lady just came back from work, gone her down. In fact, getting to a point, he denied that he did.
He was with her family member from a Christmas
service.
Yeah. Just heading home, minding her business.
He denied, he did not shoot her. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. We'll take a few messages and then go on this. On WhatsApp, you can send a message to the WhatsApp number and ensure that you include your name and your location. I have seen a video of a young admitting to taking the privates, making it disappear. I can share the video with you. Who or what do you believe is the question that Madiba is asking. Well, some of these videos are not necessarily true, right? But then again, in social media, you have to... He has seen a video, somebody who agreed or admitted to taking someone's private, and we'll share the video with us and watch it as well. Yeah, so not everything you believe on social media, up to you to be able to sieve through and ensure that you have all your facts right. Let's go on this break. When we come back after the news, time to get more of your reactions to the stories Roundtable today.
Hello. My name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.